Welcome, fellas. Today, I got a state of my collection video. I have seen about 100 of these videos, so since I do have a watch YouTube channel, I figured, you know what? Let's make a video, let's post it. It's pretty popular. Maybe I can get some views, and let's get into it. So, I will be going based on which watches I like from least to greatest in my collection. Also, I will be explaining how I got each of these watches. Give a brief description of of you know how I obtained these pieces. So, all right, let's get into it. All right, so starting off with my least favorite watch. This is the Casio MQ24. So, I had gotten this watch when I first got into collecting watches. This was probably the first one because I had a few watches, but this is the first one I bought when I first got into collecting watches. So I bought this watch online. I didn't know anything about, sizing and that you get what you pay for because this watch is like a $35, $40 watch. Um, I figured that, since it's Casio and I had another Casio that was really good, I thought the quality was going to be the same across the board, regardless of price point. But that was not the case. When I got this, I was really disappointed, especially with the bracelet, because I really do like the bracelet on my other Casio that I'll be showing later. And this is just not it. It's pretty flimsy. And just the overall shape and how it looks in hand, it was not what I had expected. It looked a lot cheaper than it did on the online photos. So yeah, that's why it's my, least favorite. Um, Anything else I can say about this watch? Probably not. I know it's very popular, but I wouldn't recommend this watch, to be honest. Maybe some of the black models, maybe, but still, I don't think it's good looking at all. I think it's a pretty bad looking watch. So, all right, we're gonna move on to the next one. All right, next on the list we have this Timex, which it's just it's not bad. I actually like it now. I put this strap on it because I had bought this at a flea market for like $10. I paid $10 for it. It didn't have a strap, so I put a strap on it. Now I think it looks better. I had a bunch of different straps on it that just didn't go with the watch at all. Like this at least looks decent, but it's just too plain, and just can't find myself putting this on instead of a lot of other watches, which is crazy because when I bought it, I had thought the numerals were pretty, pretty different, pretty intricate, vintage. I like that. But now I think it's too basic, too plain for me to really wear the strap. It gives it a little bit of a touch, but still, yeah, that's why it's my second least favorite. And I don't really have much to say about the watch other than that. But I mean, it does work, and for the time, I'm pretty sure it still has the glow on it. I just can't show it, I think, here. But yeah. All right, moving on to the next one. All right, next on the list, we have the Casio Duro, the small version. This watch was pretty disappointing to me. I didn't think I would say that because, I watched videos on it and I thought, okay, I'm fine with, the cons of it. And I just liked it because the normal Duro is way too big for my wrist. But this right here, pretty disappointing, I must say. It's not for the price. I paid 60 for it. It's not the worst thing, but I'm going to get into it and tell you guys why. All right. So, the biggest deal for me on this watch that bothers me is the strap. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is a 16 millimeter strap that had no business being 16 millimeter because the case is already small, but it's not actually that small. It's the bracelet that makes it look way too small to the point where I don't even really wear this watch. But as you can see right here, you have a space to be able to put a link. This could be like, I measured it out, this could be 20 millimeters. Sure, all right, they can go in at 16 if they wanted to, whatever. But they could have just had this one right here longer at 20 and made this a 20-inch bracelet, and that would make this watch look infinitely better. Another thing that bothers me about this watch is I'm not sure if it's the finishing or something, but there's something about it that looks kind of cheap. I think it might be like mm, the bezel or something. There's something here that makes this watch look cheaper than it actually should, because it seems like a finishing issue and not really like design issue. But yeah, if I could get a bracelet that connects at 16 but then it's 20 millimeter, then I would definitely probably wear this watch like a good amount of the time. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about this one. Let's move on to the next. All right, next on the list, the Casio. I forgot the number of it. Let me see if I can see it. Oh shoot. Oh, the AQ 230. There we go. All right, so this watch, good watch. I'll be honest. The other watches, I had bad stuff to say about them. I don't have anything bad to say about this watch. It's just, you know, it's just plain. As far as it's just white and silver. That's really it. And the reason I have this watch is because I went through a garage sale and they had this new box and everything for $5. So I'm not gonna miss out on that, especially because I do like Casio and I do wear them. And the band on this is pretty, it's pretty nice. It was pretty solid compared to that other Casio that I showed earlier. So yeah, it's just plain. Nothing bad to say about this watch. Just plain. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. All right, next on the list is this Casio MTP. The good things about this watch is the case is pretty nice. The dial is pretty nice because it has a sunburst dial. Um, the watch overall, it looks nice overall. My problem with this watch is just the bracelet. It's too, it's too flimsy because it is hollow, but it just feels bad quality anyways. If you were able to put a different bracelet on this, something nicer looking, it would definitely elevate, the look of this watch. I would even, if I got another bracelet, which I just haven't done because it's always a problem to get it with the curve that you need for the watch. Um, this would probably elevate it a lot higher in my collection, and it wouldn't be so low because this is a nice made watch, nice looking watch. The case is pretty nice, sunburst style, and for the price, I think I paid maybe $60 for this. I bought this at let me think, Macy's. I think I bought it at Macy's for $60. So that's not a bad price at all. So it just needs a better bracelet, and this would definitely be way higher in my collection. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about this one. So let's move on to the other one. All right, next in the collection is this Seiko. Railroad approved Seiko. I don't know the model number of it. I forgot. Um, this watch is only this high in my collection because of the strap that I bought for it. It fitted perfectly. Everybody was telling me what a nice looking watch. Little do they know, I didn't pay that much for this watch. I bought this at the flea market alongside the Timex that I showed earlier. I actually kind of got robbed for this. I'm not gonna lie. I paid 30 for it. If I'm gonna wear it pretty constantly, then sure, the $80 is worth it. But based on like the market price of what people give for these, especially the condition it was in, because I had to like restore it, put a new battery in it, all of that. It was in rough shape. I I think I overpaid. Should have paid like 15. I paid 30 for it. Paid double. So, but I did buy this nice strap, and it definitely elevated the look of it. I definitely pulled this one out a few more times than I would have if I didn't have this strap. So that's good. I don't really have nothing bad to say about this watch. I mean, because this is like a vintage watch that I restored, so I didn't get this full price, brand new, and I catch all the flaws that it had. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. All right, next stop, the Casio G-Shock Multiband 6. All right, so this would definitely be way higher in my collection, because this watch is so nice and it has such a nice finish, and every time I wear it, it just looks fancier than it actually is. And the reason it's not higher in my collection is because I'm not a fan of rubber watches. I like my cases to be steel, whatever. But I can't take away that this is such a nice watch. And I do feel that if I did buy any cheaper Casio that was a rubber Casio, I would definitely be disappointed because I know it just wouldn't match the level of this watch right here. And this is like the bare minimum for me to like a rubber watch. But other than what I just mentioned, this watch is a really nice watch. I definitely recommend this watch. I think I got this. I'm pretty sure I got this by accident, actually. So my dad had ordered a watch on Amazon for like a gift, and they had sent this one by mistake. And when we contacted them, they said to just keep it. So at the time, this is the watch that that's in my collection that I've had for the longest. So this was like technically my first watch. Um, I wasn't expecting to get a watch. I didn't even really like Casio or really care about watches, but I mean, it was a nice watch to be my first watch. So, I'm appreciative for that. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say about this watch other than that. So, let's move on to the next one. All right, next up is the Sick Timex Expedition. I got this watch at Walmart. I paid probably $50 for it. I put a new strap on it that matched the colors over here because the strap that it came with originally was pretty bad. That's the one thing I will say about this watch. If you're paying $50 for it, you could probably use the strap. Not me though. Definitely low quality. Didn't feel great. But this is not even like an expensive one. This cost me probably $10, and it feels levels above the one that Timex gave you with this watch out of the box. So this watch is pretty nice. This is like the only watch I have, I believe, that's like like military style, and that's another reason why I put a NATO strap on it, so it could complete the deal. It would look great with the military green one, like a dark green one, but I do like my straps to match, the colors of my watches. So, but I am definitely looking to get another Timex, maybe another Expedition with the white face, so I could put a military green strap on it because that's something I've been wanting for a little bit now. If you don't have a Timex Expedition yet, I would get one because it's definitely worth your money, especially if you go on Amazon. They're not that much, probably $40. You can even get some for $30, and if you just buy another band for it if you don't like the one it comes with, because I know sometimes they come with different bands. Like the one mine came with doesn't really look like the ones that most of them come with, so maybe you don't even have to buy an extra one. But yeah, that's the only bad thing on this watch. And let me take a look. Yeah, it's ranked number 6 in my collection. All right, move on to the next one. Next in my collection is this Casio right here. Man, I wore this almost every day since I got it, like years ago. I can't remember. I used to wear it every day because I only had 2 watches, and I wore this almost every day. You guys can probably see it on the case where this is number 5 in my collection. It would be higher because of how great this watch has been to me ever since I've had it. But the next ones, they're just for me. They're better looking. They have more value, more sentimental value to me. So I have to put them above. But this watch right here, this was my daily wear for probably 2 years in a row. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so this watch right here, Orient TriStar. Guys, let me tell you, I got this watch from my father. Not because, it was like, oh, I'm going to pass it down like an heirloom. No, he was just like, look, not going to wear it. If you want it, take it. If not, throw it away. Like that. But I was able to restore this watch. This watch and it's still moving. I'm pretty sure. Yep, and it moves good for being how old it is. I think it's like 20 years old. It moves pretty good. So I did a lot of things to this watch. This watch, when he gave it to me, was filthy because it had been stored away for years. I cleaned the band so many times till it was squeaky clean. The case, I changed the glass on it. The glass was like all scratched and it was foggy, so I had to change the glass on it. The link, it was missing a link, as you can see right here. It's missing the other end link piece. I don't have that, and I couldn't get a replacement for it. So what I did is I bought this in gold. I bought the pins in gold, and I just put them in, and it works for me for now. I'm still looking for a piece, a replacement piece for it, but I mean, I try to get one, but it's whenever it pops up, because I saw a new band for this. It's like $60, and I got this watch for free from my dad. So I don't want to, put $60 on a band, especially when I only need the small piece. If I needed the whole band, yeah, I'd pay it, but I only need the end link piece. So I'm just gonna wait till I can find, some parts for it or anything. But for now, with this gold pin, it looks good to me. So yeah, it still runs great after like 20 years. Especially, it wasn't in use for like 10 years. So maybe that's why. Or I don't know if that would hurt it. I can't tell, but it's still working pretty good. Does it keeps time pretty good. So yeah, at least in that sense, it was good. So all right, let's move on to the next one. Next on my list is this Casio MTP. Man, this Casio actually surprised me because when I get watches online, I've bought a few now, and I know better than to buy watches online now because it's a thing. It doesn't feel the same as buying them in real life. You don't. I feel like you don't enjoy them as much because you get them. You're like, oh, okay, another watch. That's it. You don't have the magical aspect of going to the store, looking at the watch, falling in love with the watch, buying it, taking it home. But this proved me wrong in that sense. I got this watch online. I had to get it from the UK for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if they didn't release them in America or something, but I wasn't able to get it from an American dealer. So, I had to get it imported. This watch is awesome. I I don't I can't I think I paid like 65 for it. This watch is awesome. It fits great on my wrist. It's like the perfect size. This is like my favorite style. It's a red dial. You are like it is likely that you watching this don't have a red dial watch. People don't like red dial watches, I think. Or maybe it's like too much for them, but I do like them. I have one, but this is pretty good. This is pretty good. The shape of it all, it's pretty good. The band on it is pretty good. Um, One thing I don't like, no micro adjustments on the freaking band because I have a small wrist, but my hands aren't as small to my wrist, so this barely fits in through my hand, and that is kind of annoying. But I can get it on, I can get it off, whatever. But yeah, this is a really good watch, especially for the price. This has become probably my current daily wear. It's so light. I sometimes I don't even remember that it's on my wrist, and I think sometimes that's good. Probably on the day to day, that's probably good. So yeah, definitely recommend it. On to the next one. All right, number two in my collection, the Seiko Sports Automatic. You guys, I know you guys are gonna tell me things in the comments for the watch I'm gonna put at number one. You're gonna think I'm crazy, but this is my second favorite watch. The reason it's my second favorite watch is because when I had got it, I really liked the color of it. At least compared to everything else that was in the store at that moment. Because I did get this for my birthday. It was a birthday watch, so I kind of had to buy it. Right there. I did like it though. But then, I got home. I actually like it more now than when I bought it, regardless of, the statement that I just made. But I feel like the color, it could have been, I could have chosen a brighter color. Maybe that's why. I do like the green and I do like the rose gold accents. But the color, I feel like maybe it's just what they had there at the time. This is the one I like the most. And they did have quite a bit of them, so it makes me think it's just cuz I got this one that I feel that way. And if I got would have gotten another one, maybe I would have felt the same way. But I do really like this watch regardless. Things I like the most about it, it's just the finishing inside the case, like the dial and stuff. How the dial is finished with the rose gold accents and everything on this watch is it's better than quality wise. It's better than the other watches I've shown because they've all been sub under $100 watches. And this is I think I paid 280 for this at an authorized dealer. Um, yeah, and the finishing is good. I'm not a big fan of the band either. It's hollow. That's why it is nice. It is nice, but it is hollow. I'm not a fan of hollow bracelets, but it's still good enough. It is a 22-inch band, in case you guys were wondering. But yeah, this is a really nice watch, automatic. I think I only have maybe two automatic watches in my collection. I need to step it up. I'm actually gonna stop buying so many like cheap watches, and I'm gonna start stepping up to more higher price watches, more automatic watches. This is all I have to say about the watch. Mind you, this is number 2 in my collection. Let's take a look at number 1. This is my number 1 watch in my collection. I think a lot of people would be like, "What the hell? What the hell is this guy going on about?" Hey, I'm just gonna say this is my most enjoyed watch to wear. I like the weight of it. I like the feel of it, of the bracelet. It's really nice, and I like everything about it. I like the finishing. I like the dial, how it has the pattern on it. It's just this is just one of those watches that's like, man, fuck what people think. This is what you enjoy. If this is what you like. Some people are not a fan of Philip Plain watches. I understand because it's really like a fashion brand. This is kind of like the equivalent of like what a Gucci watch, but this watch is great. And every single time I wear this watch, compared to almost any of my other watches, I do get compliments every single time. It doesn't, it doesn't miss every single time. I used to wear this as a daily wear for months. This was my daily wear, but then since I had more watches that were more casual, I'm saving this for, just more on like the weekends, or if I got to do something that's not casual, I'll pull this one out. But yeah, this is my favorite watch. Even my dad has Seikos and all that, just like I do, and he still thinks this is my best looking watch. Okay, you can see it in the back, and it also helps that it kind of looks like an AP. I think just that style, it just looks great, and it definitely translated well on this watch. So yeah. All right, guys. So that was the state of my collection video. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll be making any more, long videos in the future because I usually just make shorts, but I might. I don't know. Anyways, if you enjoyed it, subscribe, like it. I mean, give me a comment or anything. I really appreciate it. So thank you guys, and have a good one.